Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. Do you have insane genetics tier list? If you have this will take you further than any genetics will, take you further than any myostatin deficiency will. Now, if you're new starting out to the gym, then you could just well have good muscle building genetics and not even realize it until you watch this video. So we're gonna go through and uncover some of the best muscle genetics ranked on a tier list, starting at the top with bodybuilder signs and going all the way down to it helps. Now, I want you to always remember that genetics don't determine how far you can take yourself with your own gym journey. And I am 100% adamant that 90% of you watching fall into at least one of these categories. So make sure you guys leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm also coming out with my own fitness clothing soon. I'll put some photos up here now. Let me know if these designs are something that you guys would wear to the gym, and let's jump into the video. Now, the first genetic advantage we're going to talk about is strength. And what I mean by this is not being so prone to injury and also having just strong tendons and strong bones. So for me personally, I lift quite heavy, and people like Alex Little sort of have this ability to be able to lift really heavy without any injuries or problems. But yeah, with me in particular, I got a couple family members that are actually powerlifters and represent their country for powerlifting. So I think I do have some good strength genes that run through my family. But yeah, this is a genetic gift because you can just really push yourself in the gym and find it easy to progressively overload by strength and just really maximize your intensity. Everyone sort of has that one friend that's just a little bit stronger than them. Sometimes it just comes down to genetics, or maybe they're just optimizing their training a bit more than you. I'm gonna put this up in blessed. All right, next up we have is having a good six-pack without even trying. This partially comes down to fat placement around your midsection. Some people just can be quite a high body fat percentage and then still have quite a defined six-pack. It is a little bit genetic. Like, I had to cut down quite lean, probably around 13%. Some people can be like 15, 16, have a good six-pack. You can be like a higher body fat but look like you're leaner. I'm gonna put it up at just means you got to be a bit leaner if you store a little bit of fat over your abs, which I don't think is that bad. Everyone wants to get to a point where they're lean anyway, so you can have a six-pack or a four-pack or whatever. It's just dependent on how lean you got to be for it to show. So I'm just gonna put it in decent. All right, next up we have is having really good vascularity now. And also I want to talk a bit about having good vein placement. So I have pretty good bicep veins. So I got one that comes literally down my shoulder through my arm. I didn't even know I was quite a vascular person until I got quite lean. Right now I'm probably about 9% body fat. I'm the leanest I've ever been at the moment. This is when it really shows how vascular of a person you are, and I actually am quite a decently vascular person, you know what I mean? Like, in my opinion anyway. Those veins really pop out and show. I got one that comes from my neck, down my shoulder, through my arm, and down to my forearm. Yeah, some people don't have good vascularity. Phil Heath is a bodybuilder, and he was obviously really well conditioned, really well lean for a bodybuilder, but he just didn't have the vascularity that other bodybuilders did, which is unfortunate. It is just a little bit genetic, like, I hate to say it. But so being vascular, this is actually a picture of me. I'll put an enlarged version of it. I was like cooking steak and the lighting was just hitting mad different. It does give you that freakish aspect with your physique, so I'm gonna put it up at blessed. All right, next up we have is, now I want to talk a little bit in depth with this one, so listen up because some of you guys need to hear this. Having a positively fueled addictive drive. Now, good examples of this is the mindset that Jay Cutler had.
You gotta be a little mental, I think, to do what I did. I don't want to like sound crazy, but you have to be a little fucked up. The fucking mindset of like getting up every day and pushing yourself. And you're eating 12 to 16 ounces of meat and 100 to 150 grams of carbs every meal, and you're doing that 7 times, and you do it day in, day out. You got to have a very simple mindset. You can't be social. You can't be out doing a lot of other activities. So you put on the blinders and you have tunnel vision on what that ultimate goal is. I was always on track with everything. I mean, everything was structured. I lived in a fucking box.
Maybe the mindset that Rich Piana had, the mindset that some of these bodybuilders have. And what I'm talking about is you have this addictive determination without even getting anything in return to achieve something. So this can be good if it's channeled in the right way and towards positive things. If it's channeled towards like really bad things, gambling, drinking, whatever, like if it's channeled towards bad things, it's a bad attribute to have. But when it's channeled towards good things, you can just have the drive like no other person does. And I'm just talking about having that drive with running. Like, like David Goggins just has an amazing drive, making these unreal accomplishments throughout his life. You know, he was a Navy SEAL, he's now an ultra marathon runner. He doesn't make money from winning ultra marathon runs or anything, but he's just got that determination. That mindset will take you so much further than anything else will. I think this is something that is just so underrated. It's that discipline, focus to achieve something, and nothing will get in your way. You will put aside any distractions and, you know, you'll accomplish your goal no matter what. Where someone has a gun to your head to achieve something.
You seem even more shattered than last year. Or maybe it's just hitting you more deeply. I'm not sure, but how do you feel right now?
Nothing left.
Nothing left. You're empty.
Just throwing in the field.
It's a little bit of an addiction, but you can target it towards something positive that can help your life, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna put this up. Honestly, most bodybuilders sort of need this to compete at the level that they do. Chris Bumstead, you know, have this sort of drive, this determination, let nothing get in their way. So I'm gonna put this up in bodybuilder signs. Honestly, if you have this will take you further than any genetics will, take you further than any myostatin deficiency will. All right, next up we have is having ethnic height genes. I'm not saying being tall is like the greatest thing in the world. So I'm 5'11", right? I don't have like the most crazy height genes. I'm taller than both my mum and dad, so I got a little bit lucky. But like, I'm not from any of these countries that have the highest average height for men and women. And some of these countries are the Netherlands, Montenegro, Estonia, Denmark, Bosnia. The average height of men for these countries is 6 foot or around 6 foot. Just to give you a bit of perspective, David Lade is Estonian and he's 6'4". So being born in one of these countries, all I'm trying to say is there's a good chance you're gonna be tall. Look, I'm not trying to say like being a shorter person is a bad thing. Look at Lee Priest. He was one of the greatest proportionate bodybuilders of all time. Also, when you're a short dude, you grow muscle a lot quicker than any tall dude can. You pack on muscle so fast. So there's good and bad things. So I'm just gonna put this up. I'm just gonna put it in, it helps. All right, next up we have is a myostatin deficiency. Now, this shit has been going around everywhere. So what a myostatin deficiency actually is, it's caused by mutations in the MSTN gene. So it results in increased skeletal muscle mass due to the protein myostatin's role in limiting muscle growth. This condition, sometimes called myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy, can lead to individuals having significantly more muscle mass and strength than normal. Typically diagnosed at birth during physical examination and genetic testing to identify MSTN mutation. A good way to tell if you have this is if you're just a jacked kid, 6 to 8 years old, and you look shredded and lean and like a mini bodybuilder almost. So it's very rare. It's extremely rare to have this. I'm gonna put it at bodybuilder signs, to be honest. Next up we have is just being African. Now, have you guys ever seen some of those videos of those guys that are just, they look like they're working out with the most basic gym equipment and they're just absolutely jacked? Just always these African dudes, and they're just genetically gifted to just, I don't know, higher testosterone levels and things like that. Just genetically gifted to just be built. Lee Priest said that there should be some divisions specifically orientated towards African people because they're just built different, just bigger guys. I'm just gonna put it up in, blessed. All right, next up we have is having big quads and calves without even training. Now, I know people like this personally. They literally have way bigger legs than me, and I train legs 2 to 3 times a week. They do like running or like sprinting or something, and they just have crazy quads and calves. It pisses me off, but everyone knows someone like this at the gym. I think this is a gift because you can train legs maybe not even once a week and put a lot more emphasis on training your upper body, so which is obviously just more enjoyable to train in my opinion. But this bodybuilder, I forgot what his name is, but he's got the biggest legs you've ever seen. He's got this weird condition where his legs are just huge. I think it's decent having big legs. I'm gonna put in decent. All right, next up we have is having a very skinny waist. So what you want is a good waist to hip ratio, and I'll put some examples of some different countries that on average have more people with a good waist to hip ratio. So some studies suggest that Africans and Pacific Islander populations may have less visceral fat at a given waist circumference, strongly replicated in Asian or African populations. Yeah, honestly, just having a skinny waist makes your whole frame look better. It's not too common either. Like having an average size waist isn't the worst thing in the world. If you just build up good muscle, you will have that appearance of just, you know, a good V-taper. So having a skinny waist, I'm gonna put it up in you're a bit blessed. Next up we have is having a chiseled jawline. Now, everyone can improve this. This really does make a big difference to your appearance. Everyone can improve this though. You don't even have to eat extremely healthy. You just got to dial in your nutrition just a little bit to lose that fat around your face. Like, fast food does really bad damage to bloating and puffiness around your cheeks. Dialing in your nutrition is the best thing that you can do to improve this. Everyone wants a chiseled jawline. A little bit genetic as well. I'm gonna put it up in elite. Next up we have is having full muscle bellies and shape. So interestingly enough, throughout evolution, hotter climates actually helped people mutate a little bit differently with their muscle fullness. Hotter climates evolved humans to transfer heat easier from fuller muscles, rather than colder climates evolving humans to conserve heat in their muscles, making them tighter and more dense rather than fuller and more wide in hotter climates. So places like Asia, Africa, South America, Pacific Islands, throughout evolution, the human body sort of just adapted to those hotter climates. And what it did is it makes your muscles get rid of heat. And then in those colder climates, it made humans have more dense muscles, so like flatter muscles to be able to contain heat. So yeah, any countries close to the equator evolved humans to have fuller muscles. This is obviously a big generalization. You'll probably come to realize those guys that you know that have really full muscles, they have ethnic backgrounds from hot parts of the world. Doesn't mean that if you're from a cold country, you're not gonna have full muscles at all. Muscle fullness does help with your physique a lot. It can give off like visual deception that you're a lot bigger than you are. But yeah, I'm gonna put this up in a little bit of a blessing to your overall physique. Next up we have is having good proportions. This is quite rare to come by. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, or most people do. For me, it's my legs. Yeah, I really struggle to grow my legs. I train them like an absolute animal, and I just can't manage to grow them like I can my upper body, especially my chest. My chest, I literally don't even train for hypertrophy with my chest. I just strength train for the fun of it, and it grows like that easily. Everyone knows people like this. They just have genetic gifts, genetic weaknesses, but some people just have good proportions throughout. Pretty rare to come by. Chris Bumstead had pretty good proportions. That's why he's such an elite level classic bodybuilder. I'm gonna put it up in, it's a sign of being a bodybuilder, to be honest, so I'm gonna have to put it up there. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know how you think I ranked these as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.